Alright? But I want you to know, Jane, that even our Bible characters, we have a lot who experience hopelessness. One of them is Jonah, right? Let me share with you this one from Jonah. Jonah was very angry and wanted to run away. He said here in Jonah 4 verse 3, "Now, O Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live." I know that what you are experiencing right now is somehow resemblance with Jonah. But I know that with the help of God, because Jonah was helped by God. God delivered Jonah. So God can deliver Jonah. How much more? You are precious in His sight.
Thank you so much. Yeah, what a wonderful promise, Jade.
I can finish 2 packs at most per day. I tried to stop, but then it's just my coping strategy on stress, and sometimes when I'm angry and I'm sad, I do smoke and it calms me down. But I know it will not be good for me in the long run, and I want to stop smoking. I want to overcome that addiction. How can you help me?
Hi, Jade. I'm happy to hear from you that you want to overcome your addiction. And it's a form of escape from reality. In other words, instead of you facing your fear or anger towards your father, who is also alcoholic or into substances, you would then instead, use some substances or go into smoking. And it makes you feel better maybe. But then right now, you have that realization that you want to stop. Am I right? I'd like to ask you if you have some friends who would like to help you as well, because it's difficult to stop on your own. We call that accountability partner. When we say accountability partner, there are those people who would always remind us, maybe your mother, your friend, or your significant other, about your commitment that you really want to stop. And then another one is identify what would trigger you. Maybe if you're feeling sad, earlier I heard if you're feeling hopeless, you would end up having another smoke, okay? And if that would be felt immediately, it needs to be somehow addressed. So distract yourself after identifying your trigger. And one last, legit, this is powerful. Whenever you're feeling triggered by other circumstances, pray and pause. There's nothing, in terms of addiction, it's very helpful to pause and pray. So in 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13, it says here, "No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted." If we will personalize the key text, God is faithful to you. He will not allow you to be tempted to use cigarette beyond what you're able. But with the temptation also make this way of escape that you may be able to bear it.
Thank you so much. Okay, there's still hope for addiction despite those temptations that you have, that you really wanted to do it again. There's still a way. And I think our...
Please forgive me. But I think this is the most heavy issue that I have right now, because for 7 years I've been in a relationship, and then yesterday my girlfriend for 7 years broke up with me, and I feel like abandoned. I feel like no one would care for me anymore. She was my life, she was my everything, but then I just don't know. I feel so abandoned. I really want to help.
Okay, yeah, there's someone who could help you with that. An expert in relationship. Okay?
Natural response. It's a natural emotion that we feel, especially when there's feelings of betrayal and disappointment by other people. But don't you know, Jeeve, that even Jesus also had his share of feelings of abandonment. At one point, he said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" So your feeling of abandonment is not, it's actually common humanity. A lot of people at one point in their lives would also feel abandoned. And what are we going to do about it? Maybe the first thing is that you make sense of that reality. Your belief is that you are abandoned. Is that true?
Yes, Lord.
You are probably abandoned by your girlfriend for 7 years. But your girlfriend or your ex-girlfriend is not the only person in your life. So, it's probably you're banking on that one single moment or single person who is really important to you, and you really feel abandoned. But you are not abandoned at all, because you still have other persons in your life who's there with you.
My mother is still there.
Exactly. See, you still have other people in your life. And then another thing is that Mom Cutie mentioned earlier about the helper's high. Meaning, if we engage ourselves to other people, if we get to help them, it actually improves our mood. So how about trying to find someone who probably feels abandoned as well, or who has like friends or persons in your circle who are loners, on whom you think needs a friend, then probably you can reach out to that person, and then both of you would realize that you're not actually abandoned. And of course, I think it is very helpful that in times when we feel alone, there's this reality in the Bible that we need to hold on to. And it says in Deuteronomy 31:6, it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." If you feel disappointed because of other people betraying you and leaving you, there is one person who will never leave you, and that is God. Cling on to the promise that God will never leave you and He will never forsake you.
Thank you so much.
Wow, that is very, very helpful. God never wastes a hurt. He can take that hurt that is pressing in on every side and use it to shape you, fortify you, and exalt His name through you. When you feel like there is no hope left, remember that the suffering we're currently experiencing is nothing compared to the glory He will reveal to us in the future. Let me read you the verse, Psalms 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. May God be glorified, and happy Sabbath, everyone.